Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to That's Right, The Rabbit Hole. And that's right, ladies and gentlemen, The Rabbit Hole is now on Tuesday nights instead of Thursday nights. We switched it up on you because we want some of you people that are just sitting around the house and don't know what to do because it's Thursday. Thursdays all special shows people watch and shit like that. So, we want to educate those people that we miss out on Tuesday nights. So, with that being said, um, here I am, yours truly, Blaze Man, along with Mr. D and Mr. Donnie. And ladies and gentlemen, we got a new set of character coming to the rabbit hole. He's an old friend, but had to drop out for a little while, but is now going to be a frequent member of the rabbit hole. Let's welcome him in, boys. My boy Jim.
Yay!
What's happening, Jimbo? What's happening?
Much. How are you guys?
We good. We
we're
good.
We're doing well. We're doing well. How's things with you?
everyone.
We're glad. Well, I'm glad that I finally berated you so badly that it was either me sleeping out in your yard in a fucking in a sleeping bag to get you back on a show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But but it's good to have you. Yeah, we're allowed to do that down here, Donnie. I know you guys in Texas see that shit all the time. People sleeping in sleeping bags, but yeah, we can do that here too.
No, I didn't say anything about if you can do it. I was asking Jim. You didn't make him do it. I would have made him.
I was going.
Cold, rainy night, just something nasty. Make his ass.
I mean, he was sending me love letters, and I should see the mail I got. A couple of really rude pictures. You know what I mean?
Oh my God!
You tramp.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. No, it's a lot of stuff going on since I was here last. We started a new job, all kinds of stuff, but keep with the show.
That's for another
yeah,
time.
it's glad to be back.
Yeah, we're good. Fucking super glad to have you, man. 4 is always better than 3. You know what I mean? But tonight, for instance, we're gonna dabble in a little religion. Get everybody's I don't know take
way
on
to bring me back. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, it'll bring you right back in. And Jim's like, what the fuck?
Can't even. You know what I mean?
I hope my Christian friends ain't watching. But
poking the bear. Let's go.
Jesus.
But you know something? We can always save it for the second segment. Let's warm Jimmy Big Sack up, and
yeah, we can go right into it.
Oh,
we know you're scared, D. We know you're scared.
I'm pretty sure they can.
Oh,
Jimmy
boy,
Big.
I would have picked a different name. I thought it was only us. Oh well, whatever.
Jimmy Big
It's all
Sack.
good.
I like that. I like Jimmy Big Sack. That goes well.
Oh Jesus!
It's better than Jimmy Little Sack, right?
Yeah, right. Well, then again,
right. Hey, we're losing Donnie.
Donnie's all right. Look at it.
No, we're losing him.
Donnie's laughing hysterical. You don't want to stand up.
I was saying to him, like, when I come back on, I gotta make sure.
I don't know if I want a big hog in a small sack because a big sack might hide the hog. So I don't know. I'm kind of like torn between that. But anyways, neither here nor there.
All right, Donnie's giving us the prepare to roll.
Yeah, move ahead. Donnie's going. Move ahead. Let's go. But yeah. Okay. So listen. I think this is one of the other reasons why we moved to Tuesday night. You know what I mean? But anyways, yeah. So we're gonna dabble in a little religion, and I have my concerns. You know what I mean? And so what we're gonna do is we got a couple of videos that we're prepared to throw up here, and what we're gonna do is each video we'll play for about 5 minutes or so. We certainly probably could go longer, but about 5 minutes or so each video. And what we'll do, and we'll discuss whether if we come back and discuss what the video is talking about or not talking about or whatever. But in either case, I think the videos that I have prepared here will give I don't know, some indication. The first one I got coming up here is about the good old boy Satan himself. Now, in this video, we're about to play with Satan. Most don't know this about Satan. That's what it's entitled. We will we'll let people judge for themselves, and then we'll play the other aspect about the Lord, and we'll go from there. You know what I mean? Let's check it out.
A bit about the devil first, so that you've got a clear picture in your mind of what we're praying against. First of all, the Bible does not paint him as a horned creature with a forked tail. That's the sort of thing that makes us laugh at him, take him less than seriously. See, the Bible says he's a real person. The Bible never calls the devil it, always he. Next, the Bible says that he has a heart and a mind and a will, and if a heart and a mind and a will don't make a personality, I don't know what does. It talks about the devil's feelings, talks about his thoughts, and it talks about his motives. And that means to me a person. So the devil is not just a kind of vague word to sum up all the forces of evil in the world. No, he is a person in his own right. And if there were no human beings at all, Satan would still exist. Now, Jesus himself took Satan desperately seriously. He never made a joke about him. He never laughed at him. He never caricatured him. Here are some of the titles that Jesus gave Satan. He said he is the prince of this world. When Satan offered Jesus all the kingdoms of the world, Jesus did not say they are not yours to give, because he knew perfectly well they were Satan's to give. And it is a horrible thought, if you really realize it, that the world in which we live is ruled over by Satan. He is the prince of this world. But let's take it a step further. Do you know that another title Jesus gave to Satan? He said he's not only the ruler or prince of this world, he is the God of this world. The only other person beside his heavenly Father to whom Jesus ever applied the word God was Satan. He said, my heavenly Father is God of everything, but of this world, Satan is God, which means very simply not only that Satan controls this world and is able to manipulate science and education and politics for his own ends. More than that, Satan is actually the real God whom most people on earth worship, whether they know it or not. That behind so much religion, behind so much activity, Satan is the one who's being worshipped. He's the person. And even by some who go to church and chapel on Sunday, in reality, he's their God. For they worship the things that he offers them. They want the things of the world that he belongs to and rules over, rather than setting their mind on the things that are above where Jesus is. And if you want this world, and if you want the things of this world, then I give you a piece of advice. Make Satan your God. If you want this world, he's a wonderful God to have, because he'll give it to you. There's always a price to pay. When the bill comes in, you may not be quite so happy, but he'll give it to you. He can give you money, he can give you fame, he can give you anything you want, because it's his to give. Where have you been, Satan, says God in the book of Job? Well, I've been patrolling the earth, I've been looking around my estate. And he had. Now let's get this clear. That doesn't mean that God is helpless in this world. It does mean, and we've got to think this through, that God is allowing Satan to be prince of this world and God of this world. He's allowed it. And people say, what does God think he's doing allowing that? Well, I would just say my only answer to that one is, what's he doing allowing you to be like you are? Why should you blame him for allowing Satan to rebel when he allowed you to? The answer is very simple. He's a father, and he will not force any of his creatures to go his way. And he gives you freedom to rebel. And we can't grumble about him giving the angels freedom, though they have superior intelligence and strength, because he gave us the same freedom, and we've used it in the wrong way. Do you know there are 2 books in the Bible that the devil hates more than any other 2 books in the Bible? Out of all 66, there are 2 that say more about him than any others, and it's these that he has attacked more than any others. They are the one at the beginning and the one at the end, Genesis and Revelation. And you know why he hates them? Because Genesis describes his devices and Revelation describes his doom. And he hates those two books. And there has been more scholarly attack on the book of Genesis than any other book, and more attempt to turn it into myth and legend and away from fact than any other book in the Bible. Why? Because Satan doesn't want you to believe that Genesis 3 ever happened. He doesn't want you to know how he got hold of Eve. He doesn't want you to believe that he said what he did to that first married couple. And he attacks the book of Genesis. But the other book which he hates more than any other is the book of Revelation. Because as you read through that book, you come to a point where it says that the devil himself will be cast into the lake of fire. Do you know that Jesus told us to pray every day about the devil? Do you know that? The original prayer that he taught his disciples when they said, Lord, teach us to pray. He said, pray like this. Say, Dad in heaven. Then pray for the things he wants. His name, his will, his kingdom. Then he said, pray for the things you need. You need food, you need forgiveness. Then he said, finish by praying this. Deliver us from the evil one. We've turned evil into a thing in our thinking. It's not a thing, it's a person. There's no evil person. There's no universe apart from persons. Evil is an intensely personal thing. There's no love in the universe apart from persons who love. And so evil is personal. And Jesus said, pray daily, deliver us from the evil one. Start your prayer by thinking of your dad in heaven, but end your prayer by thinking of the devil on earth and go out to face him.
Okay. All right. So, this video depicts, this video for me depicts the devil as being a good guy. Because even in the Bible, in some parts of the Bible, it's how Jesus cast down, God cast down his only beloved angel, like, his equal in a sense. And towards the end is kind of like, freaks me out a little bit in a sense to where it's not the devil and God, it's the people. Okay? Because if Eve didn't coerce Adam into biting the apple, there would be no hunger, there would be no need for money, you would never die, and so on. That's what a little bit of my take from this video, and I'll throw it out to Arnold Palmer over there. Donnie?
Oh, there's some that say, and I talked to someone that reads the Bible, or the different versions of the Bible pretty often, and some will say that's true. This is the devil's reign right now. He is the God of this world, because when you look at a lot of what we do, we're very materialistic. We live in the now. Then what supposedly is supposed to happen, or whatever some people are saying in the Bible, is at the end of the devil's reign, or when the rapture, the end of the world comes, whatever Jesus Christ, God, whatever higher being you call it, comes down and sends the Satan off to hell for 1,000 years. Things start all over because we done took this world and ran it into the ground. And that's when, a lot of people, they want to translate what's going on in the world now, that, all the fires and stuff, that's a sign from God that we're not, living up like we're supposed to be. And that's how he's slowly destroying us or something. And that's when how they say those are some of the signs that lead into the rapture. And I don't know, when you got some people that are actually saying, agreeing with this kind of stuff, saying it's in the Bible, it don't seem so far-fetched now, like back in the day when, that was blasphemy, blah, blah. No, it's not.
Because they wouldn't teach it. They wouldn't teach that part. And if you read some of it, and you would see that it's there. Jim,
Yes.
let's hear it.
I don't know.
Look, man, look. I just want to look. You can't be afraid. We don't hold
No.
nothing.
I don't.
You know what I mean? So
I don't know. I don't even think. I don't subscribe to the whole Satan anything like God. I don't have that like. I don't know what you want me to say. That's what I'm saying. I mean, God to me would be a totally different thing than what you guys are talking about right here. That's not what it is. I mean, it to me, you know what I'm saying? I've never been a religious person. I couldn't tell you one verse of a Bible. It's not my thing. So I don't have that. I wasn't brought up like that. So my views on religion, God, devil, they're totally different than what you guys are talking about. So, I mean, I don't know how you want me to.
So you don't believe in none of it?
I don't. And I'm not saying I don't believe in some sort of a God. Excuse me. I just don't like. He ain't worried about if I masturbate too much or, whatever the case may be. I'm not going to be punished because I don't believe in some story that somebody wrote.
All right, I understand you. All right, but we'll let you sit back.
So
there
I think what I'm saying is like Satan to me doesn't exist. Just like at least in that form of whatever it is you're talking about. I mean, and here's why: is when we talk about God. I mean, everybody has their own view or whatever. I've tried so many times to like let myself into something like that. Bigger than me, that whole situation.
Now, just smoke that stuff Blaze smokes. You'll get.
I mean, and that's kind of when I believe sometimes because I'm like, please, God, you know what I mean? But anyway,
yeah, man.
Like, let's think about this for a second. When people try to define God, this is the way I kind of look at it with me and with human beings and as a species, dude, right? Like, we have a set of morals, most of us anyway, like good or bad, good, evil, whatever you want to say. And that's been that way since like literally the first like humans that ever moved about on this planet 300,000 some years ago, right? If it wasn't the case, it's like an intuition of what's good and what's evil. That wasn't written in a Bible. That's put in a code somewhere that's in your DNA and who you are. To me, that's what like God is. I don't know if you can go that deep down your own rabbit holes you guys live in.
Oh, absolutely, we can.
My point is
we peel it.
That is not the same as somebody worried about me swearing or sinning or whatever I'm doing. It's in me, but it's there, and I didn't put it there. Everybody knows you don't you don't go shoot up children.
So somebody would say to you at this point that's very religious. So you're saying that 96% of the world's population is delusional, and you're right?
No,
that there's no God?
No, you can believe whatever you want, and I'm saying you have the freedom to do so. But I don't believe in Satan and God type things. You know what I'm saying? It's not my thing.
I got you. D, you're up, bro.
No, I just
You get the holy water ready?
Yes, sir.
All
yes,
right.
Sir. I'm a little. I thought I was gonna get some.
You're very religious, D, and stop.
I ain't very religious.
Stop
bro.
backputting. You know what I mean? Let's go.
I wouldn't say religious, man. Just fearful man of the one above. Jim, he doesn't need religion as a moral compass like other people use to guide their compasses. And they probably never heard you talk, Jim.
But I guess that's what I'm saying. They still have it though. So my point is, if you put stock in a moral compass, it came from somewhere.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But I have it, and you have it. So we have something in common, and that crosses through humanity. That's not Islam. It's not Christianity. It's not these things. It's a human thing. So that's where I'm trying to say I can believe in a God, and you can believe in a God. They might not be the same thing,
right?
And I don't believe. I believe my commonality with you and my moral compass is what drives me. So I don't need good and evil to tell me what to do. You know what I'm saying? It's in me already. And I think it's in the majority of people, or we never would have lasted 300,000 years. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
there was a time before the Bible, and there's a time after the Bible. There's a bunch of different Bibles. There's a bunch of different gods. So for me to now at my age be like, you know what, I'm going to pick this. And you know what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense to me. You know what I'm saying?
No, and that was a future segment I wanted to talk with Donnie and Blaze about religion. Is there's another onion sleeve he just peeled back. How many more people fall into religion in their later years when they're seeing that stop sign at the end of the road that Jim just told me?
Well, I'm sure there's a lot. I mean, and again, maybe I will at some point go, you know what? I just want to believe in, this, whatever it is. But for right now, I've tried. And I swear, when I'm telling you this, I have tried. And I don't know if it's because of my background and my job and even just stupid stuff like mechanical things. No matter what, I can always break it down to a causation. And that's what I look for. And I can't find that there's the why questions.
The causation of a fault.
Not necessarily a fault. It's, you look at how tiny of again,
you're talking.
Here's another example. I can go so deep with this.
No.
Subject.
No, don't take me to the engineer's table. I'm fine right here.
No. It wasn't an engineer's table. It was more or less like, all right, so I watched a podcast with Joe Rogan and Elon Musk, and it was like unbelievable listening to Elon talk about what's coming up. And I believe, I don't want to, uncopyright or say something I shouldn't, but I think the name of one of the companies is Neuralink. So they're going to be able to take like a supercomputer, cut out a square in your head, stick this thing in and wire it into neurons in your head, seal it back up. You won't even know it's there. And this thing is going to be able to, I mean, it's already in like a testing phase on I don't know what the hell they use, probably mice or something, whatever. But it's going to basically be able to cure like muscular dystrophy and like MS people, people who have lost use of arms for certain brain damage and strokes. It's going to cure all that. And it's going to be to the point where you're going to upload your photos into this like Neuralink thing from your brain. You can just recall them. You're going to have a perfect memory. You're going to be able to download information off like you would with a phone. And that's what the point was we're already halfway there. The only difference is that this isn't wired in yet. We're halfway there.
Right.
So the bottom line is, at the end of everything, we're literally going to be able to upload everything in our head to a computer and download it to a new one somewhere else, virtually giving us like immortality. What is God going to do about that?
I really don't think. I think man will wipe its own self out, and this data you're talking about that they're going to put in the brain and stuff. Did it ever tingle your mind that they're possibly downloading data from your brain on your movements, your emotions, your feelings, all that shit? So when the human race is gone, here's the robotic race.
Yeah.
I know.
Can buy that. I can buy that. I can buy that.
Because I mean, myself, if that was brought to me, I would not do it.
No, I mean, I'm sure there are plenty of people who wouldn't, but there's
listen,
more people that would, I think.
Why is everything always God's plan?
Because that's where
you lose somebody that you love unconditionally, and you get these people that come up to you and go, "Oh, it's going to be okay, son. God has a plan. So God had a plan to fucking, ruin my entire fucking life." You know what I mean? Or I just lost fucking everything in a fire, everything that I fucking ever owned. And, well, don't worry, son. God has a plan. It's all in God's will. He has a plan. That's the kind of shit that fucking pisses me off. Okay. Because if God is all loving, why would you continue to watch suffering? And with that, go, Donnie, because we're going to play this next video. Go.
Because that's supposedly when I talked about, when someone told me that's what they talk about as the devil's reign on earth. He's going to reign on earth, and that kind of stuff is, they want to say, is devil's works, and those people have very core principles that tell you that. That's their faith. Because let's be honest, man, the God, it has a lot of different names. God, Yeshua, Allah. If you look at history and you look at time, you have the same storyline that goes along. A prophet comes along, speaks something different. It's big labeled as black. Do that. That's wrong. Guess what? It spread. And then and now you have Christianity that ran Roman Empire for years, right? That's how it all starts. You did it with the Jewish and Judaism, Christianity.
So much death in the name of the Lord.
Right. It's a higher being, whatever you want to call that higher being, and that's their faith. They are that faith. And that takes me to what Jim, cause analysis. You talked about cause analysis. When you look at things, you look for whether it's good or bad. You want to find out why it did that. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah, well,
you want to do that. So for you, the scientific method, because the way your mind works, you go more towards the scientific side to say, hey, but as we get through droughts, right? Look at the news. There are so many more things that are getting discovered and starting to kind of prove and say, oh, some of the stuff they said in the Bible, here's some truth to it. Because we have physical documents or physical
data.
You can touch.
Donnie, they can drill into a mountain and go back how old the mountain was in billions of years. They can go back an easy 2,000 years. Yeah,
But- But when we talk about religion and why Blaze is asking why people do it too, how many times has that Bible or whatever version been translated? Because stuff gets lost in translation. That's why it goes different ways and people have all these different beliefs. Because it gets lost in translation.
Well,
but when you look at it, it's pretty much all the same.
yes, and when you're on the highway, if you're going the right direction, everything is okay. And that's what I'm talking about, all religions and the pathway to heaven. What I wanted to, and I'm sorry, Donnie, did you have more?
No, what we need to do, guys, is we need to
damn it.
run, take a break, and when we come back, we're going to hit this other video, and we're going to continue a little bit more on religion. So, ladies and gentlemen, stick around for more The Rabbit Hole on the new night on Tuesday night, and we'll be back, ladies and gentlemen, in exactly 4 minutes. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in to the Rabbit Hole. This Tuesday night, that's right, ladies and gentlemen, the Rabbit Hole has switched to Tuesday night. So every week on Tuesdays from 7 to 9 p.m., catch the Rabbit Hole. And for you that are just joining right now, today's first hour, I should say, is about religion. And what we did is we listened to, the how the devil works. And for some of you that, if you missed the video, catch the pre-recorded show later on down the road, and you'll get the gist with that. But now we're going to go with the other half. Okay, so we're going to play about 5 minutes of this video. All right, and then we are going to discuss it. So pay attention, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go nowhere. We're going to play about 5 minutes of this video and then have a discussion about it. I want to remind the panel and some people that are watching, this is a pastor, so he's pretty much going to talk about himself for about a good 2.5 minutes, and then he'll get down to business. So with that being said, let's check this out.
Yeah, roger that, Bobcat.
Yeah, I could care less about background.
Warning. This might be one of the most controversial videos that you will watch on my channel. The topic I'm going to address is a topic that is highly contested and argued over in Christianity. But let's start from the beginning. The three things we all agree on as Christians: that there will be a tribulation, coming of the Antichrist, the false prophet, the false teacher. There will be also a second coming of Jesus Christ. The Bible is very clear about it. And number three is there will be a rapture of believers, where believers will be caught up to meet the Lord. What many people disagree on is when that will happen, meaning the rapture of the believers. There is really three main positions on the topic of the rapture of the believers. The first one is the pre-tribulation. This is the most common view today, although it's not generally been taught until the 19th century. So up to 19th century, people didn't necessarily uphold this view, but today it's the most common view. Those who hold this view believe that the Bible does not prophesy that the church will be a part of the tribulation, that the church is no longer mentioned after the Revelation chapter 3. Therefore, Christ will return prior to the tribulation to rapture all the believers in heaven. And the wrath of God is the big issue here, since the tribulation is the season of the pouring of the wrath of God, that this view believes that God saves us from the wrath to come. Therefore, he will not allow us to go through tribulation, since it will be a time of the pouring of his wrath. The second view is that mid-tribulation. This is the least commonly held position today. It teaches that the church will go through the first 3.5 years of the tribulation, and then it will be a rapture prior to the great tribulation of the last 3.5 years. And then there's the post-tribulation. Post-tribulation, this is the longest held position in the church history. It teaches that the church will go through the entire 7 years of the tribulation, after which the believers will be raptured and then immediately return at the Christ's second coming. In other words, the rapture and the second coming is pretty much similar events. Now, I want to probe and mention 7 things, and we will look at few scriptures, why I think that we will have rapture after the tribulation, and the second coming of Jesus and the rapture are pretty much same events from the beginning. I don't want that. I want to stick with most of the believers, including some of my friends, who believe that rapture will happen first and then the tribulation. But studying the history of the church, seeing that for 19th century, the church didn't uphold that view. They went through very difficult times, and therefore I believe that as a Christian, I have to be prepared to go through tribulation. But I hope I don't have to. So this video is me saying, I hope I'm wrong 100%. But as we will look at few verses right now, you will see, and I hope that you will lean toward that as well, not so that you can, start expecting tribulation, but that you prepare for tribulation, because bad things are going to come. Before things will get better, things will become worse. And people who are, especially in Western countries, who uphold the view that before the world goes crazy, we're all going to be taken, and we're going to go into this secret rapture, and we are going to avoid that. The problem is that, that's the luxury of the Western Christians to believe in that. The rest of the world who is going through persecution, who is getting killed, slaughtered, and destroyed, they actually don't hold that view. Not because they don't know the Bible, it's because to them, persecution is the normal part of Christian life. And so God wants to build strong, stable Christians, not snowflakes, and people who, I don't want it to be disappointed that if you end up going through the tribulation and you believe that you shouldn't go through the tribulation and take the mark of the beast because you think that's not the mark of the beast, because mark of the beast should be existing after you're gone, and so you don't become deceived. And so I just want to prepare you. Perhaps maybe we're gonna have to go through tribulation. Some of us are going through hardships right now, and we need to cheer up and be of good cheer because Jesus has overcome the world and we will overcome as well. That doesn't mean that God will protect us from death, but God will be our deliverer even in death. So I want to explore 7 things concerning the idea that tribulation will happen before, that a rapture will happen before tribulation. And I pretty much want to kind of explore some of the things that even a lot of Christians hold on today, this popular view. And I want to put some needles into that balloon, okay? So I know those of you who disagree, be nice in the comments below. Don't get nasty, okay? So be kind. We can agree to disagree. None of us know 100% for sure, but we can speculate and we can look at the scripture and let the scripture speak to us, okay? I ask you that you look at the scriptures that I'm going to present to you, not with your perspective that you were taught, but let the scripture speak to you instead of imposing your own Western, comfort-driven, snowflake Christianity, where a lot of us have that. And so we always think that, somehow God did not rescue for thousands of years Christians from persecution, being slaughtered and being killed. And now, in the last days, somehow He will take all of us from all of that bad because we're somehow super special. Unfortunately, that's the furthest thing from the truth. So the first thing that I want to highlight is that Bible talks about only one second coming of Jesus Christ. If rapture happens 7 years before the second coming of Jesus, and Bible clearly states that during rapture we will meet the Lord in the air, that means that the Lord will come, okay? If He will come, that means that His second coming will happen twice, which contradicts the scripture. There's not one instance in the Bible concerning Jesus's 2 comings. You will not find one scripture. Therefore, I lean towards that there will be only one second coming. And if we are going to meet Him in the air and He will be coming down already, then that's the coming of Jesus where we will be raptured. The second truth I want you to consider, or fact I want you to consider, the following verses indicate that our rapture to the Lord and His coming are the same event. So not only we don't see 2 comings of Jesus, 2 second comings of Jesus, we see His first coming to die, His second coming to reign, but we don't see 2 second comings. We don't see them nowhere in the Bible. And the second thing I want you to notice is how the scriptures tie our rapture to Him and His coming, the second coming of the Lord, as the same event. Let's look at 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 16 and verse 17. For the Lord Himself will descend from heaven with a shout. Now, I have another video that deals with 10 truths about the second coming of Jesus. And in that video, I go into details concerning the trumpet, the sound, and the lightning, and all of that will accompany His second coming. So this is describing not a secret rapture, with a shout. That means that there will be a noise with the voice of an archangel and with the trumpet of God. So there will be trumpets sounding, there will be a voice of an archangel, and there will be a shout at the Lord.
Okay, so that's pretty much it for me right there. Donnie, go.
Sorry, that goes back to what I was saying before about how someone said the 7 years, the rapture, that's when God comes down, or Jesus Christ, and they banish Satan to hell, the depths of hell for 1,000 years and all this stuff. But I mean, you look at the video from before and you look at this video, they talk about the same thing. They talk about evil and things getting worse. And and what kills me is he says that there's not 100% way he can prove it's complete truth of what he's saying, but then later on in the video he says the scripture, the truth says, well, just earlier you said, and that's where I get at, is we keep talking about all this stuff, but as things get translated, different parts of the world, different cultures, different views, they kind of don't all agree. So truth, I'm not sure. I know there's a higher being up there somewhere, but I don't know.
And I think that's probably that's my point. Like, again, like Jewish people and Islamic people don't even believe in like the what's the word, like divinity, I guess, of Jesus.
No, you need
So-
to no, yo, whoa, let's get off of that right there. You better start talking and looking at Islam, Judea, and Christianity. They got so much in common. They mention each other in the Quran, in the Bible. They all see Moses as a prophet. Oh, there's a lot in common. So all that stuff about they're different.
Some
no,
don't
sir.
believe in Jesus. Some
People
just
don't
believe in God.
recognize Jesus as a savior.
Right.
Am I correct?
No, right.
No, they
Jews
do.
don't recognize.
No,
They
if you
call
want
it
to
by
give
a different name.
if you want to give a Bible to a Jewish person, you rip out the New Testament.
Exactly.
That's
That's
the
what they
common.
think.
I don't know.
Okay, so
I
that's
know.
another thing that fucking why more than one book? Somebody forget to say something?
No, just
No.
they chose different times.
No. Oh,
Yes.
it tells
No.
different times.
It tells a different story. It tells it differently. That's why I say we're sitting
Muslim.
here, we want to talk about being, but it's always preached and taught by people. It's the human interaction that is within religion that changes it, that makes it evil or corrupt or does all the good stuff.
I guess
Us,
the
as people.
Yeah, and that's I keep going back to the same thing. I don't know how to say it any differently though, but there are fundamental differences in like Islamic people and Christian people because, like you just said, like people kill themselves over it. So
Yes. No.
again,
Okay, but
there's still a good and evil, and there's a moral compass that is embedded in our entire beings, no matter what. And that's pretty much what it is. That to me, that's what God is. It has nothing to do with these stories that people wrote. I mean, again, just like you said, it's interpreted through a man who 2,000 plus years ago did not have the vocabulary and the way to translate over different parts of the world. You know what I'm saying? So there's no way that probably any of those stories can be facts.
hold on now. There can be facts. I just said earlier, they're finding more artifacts that
Right,
that show
look
it can
at
be
look at.
facts.
I bet you
but
if you
that's
read
a,
history
but
books,
that's
hold
an
on, hold on.
article. Go ahead, man.
I bet you if you read history books right now about 9/11, it's going to look a lot differently than it actually did when you were sitting there watching it.
Right.
Of course, because of human
Right.
interpretation.
So you're telling me the rapture of the Lord and like all of that stuff is, you know what I'm saying? That's not going to get lost.
Oh, that might.
You know?
It could well get lost in translation. But how are we going to know until we just keep living and find out? I mean, that's the only way. But there's a lot of common. There's a lot of common in all religions. So you want to talk about extreme, people killing themselves and jihad. You know what? That's just a different extreme. You have the same extreme in the Catholic religion in its history. You've had the same thing in Christianity. You've got the same thing now where somebody is so deep and so in tune, or not in tune, but in believing in what they think is their core principle in religion,
Right.
that they're not going
Right.
to see anything different. And you're wrong. And they preach that to people. So
Right.
that's
I
extreme
understand.
extremism.
I understand where you come from, Donnie. All right. So it's like, for me, it's like, Muslim, today, they take their religion just like they did, 1,000 years ago. You know what I mean? Today, Christianity may be a little bit different. You're not seeing Christians going to burn somebody at the stake
No,
because they don't
No, the
believe.
Catholics are better.
You know what I mean? Well, the Catholics are better at that too. Correct. But you get what I'm trying to say. I mean, look,
Yes.
for me, I think it's just that, it's for me, it was more of the first video that made sense to me, that explained it to me, like if my mom or dad was reading me a fucking bedtime story, and to the fact where the first video was like, look, God and Jesus never said that the devil was the monster. You know what I mean? God and Jesus said that the devil pretty much was one of them, but he had a hold on the earth, and also what the first video said is that life is what the humans make it to be. You know what I mean? Life is, that's why it always drove me nuts when someone would say, especially when something bad happens, that God has a plan for everybody. You know what I mean? So, and let's take this note.
Can you dispute that?
This is
No.
J Jesus. It's all about eternal life. Okay, so D, come on, man. You haven't said much.
No, man, because we have some very talkative hosts today. Sounds like they did their homework. Getting back to the video 1 and 2, video 2, I don't believe anybody who's got a name as Nikolai. You got too much Russian accent for me.
Oh, Nikolai. You mean
Guys
Cyclops?
should laugh.
You mean Cyclops?
No, man, but getting back to the first video at the end, I think what they were trying to portray is that what is the root of all evil? Money. Money
No.
ties in with the government. Even on all our dollar bills, that still says "In God We Trust." So it makes me think. Is the God that I've been taught that's living on this earth, is he the root of all evil? Got the one eye in the back of the dollar bill.
Right, right.
It just made me think. You know what I mean?
I
Eh,
don't think it's about having a Bible in front of us right now to have a religious opinion. I think we all have different opinions on a situation, and let's just look at a couple of these comments that are coming through right now, guys. I just answered this one. It's this is from JJ Souza. All this religious talk. Anyone have a Bible around? No. Again, I don't think I need to have a Bible to have my opinion on religion. What I do have, as far as a background for religion, is to in my early teens, not early teens, but 18, 19 years old, I tried Christianity for about a year and a half until I listened for these people preach everything underneath the sun, until one day during church, this homeless dude came in from the rain, and the pastor went over to him. Don't know what the conversation was, but never seen that guy again. So certainly didn't see the pastor give him a handout or anything like that. If the conversation was, "Oh, it's raining out pretty bad, sir. Is it okay if I just stay in here for a few minutes?" I have no idea. All I did know was after service or whatever, I went, see if I seen this guy on the nearest corner, whatever, but didn't see him. So, and there was other things to show the hypocritic bullshit. Down the road,
Hypocrisy.
hypocrisy, or whatever the hell you want to say.
Right.
So let's answer.
Forget about the Bible. Get this kid a dictionary.
Yeah, right. Let's here's another. Let's see.
I want to take this one right here.
All right, Jesus had a problem with religion. People too. Go, Donnie.
Oh, Jay Jesus there. You got
Jesus.
so many
It's Jesus.
Jesus, Jesus, however you want to call it, whatever, right?
You
Just like you
Mexican
said,
fool.
Listen. Compare that to that comment. Compare that to that comment. Whatever name your higher being goes by, just like stories of Jesus or Buddha or whatever savior, the Prophet Muhammad. She's right. That person's right, and that person's right as far as money is not evil. Object things, nouns are not evil. Objects are not evil. People make it evil. People turn it into evil. It's us. That's where everybody's always no, it's us. And until we can actually accept that and understand that, we're gonna have the same bullshit we got right now. Fighting over religion, everybody to extremes, all the violence, everything we got right now, still gonna happen. So who's to say when rapture starts coming? That's what they talk about. I mean, you can link it a little bit to what we're doing right now. Totally true, but it's got some points. Just like the video. You talk about the first video. The guy talks about 3.5 years of this, 3.5 years of that. The second video, the guy put it all together for 7 years. Interpretations of the same book right there. So who are we to believe?
Yeah.
And who are you to say somebody else is wrong because they got a different opinion?
Right. D, I'm going to let you read this one and answer it. You ready? Don't fucking read it to yourself, bro.
Oh, okay. You want me to read it out
Jesus
loud?
fucking
Well, fuck it.
Christ.
Simple instructions.
We talked about that.
this
A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Roger.
Go ahead.
Religion is all based off interpretations. Stories of Jesus or Buddha, whatever savior they believe in, are all based off the interpretation of ordinary people doing extraordinary acts for peace and love in ways that were far more advanced than the time.
You're up, D.
Uh, put that question up again.
Yeah.
There's
No,
truth to it.
Yeah, no, there's
Go ahead,
plenty of
D.
truth. Yep.
You take your time, brother. You take your
No.
time.
No, with the Muslims, it's
In the
it's
Lord,
more.
I'll say,
It-
amen.
All right, let's be serious now. Don't
I
get me
am.
going.
I am.
All right. Um.
Just remember when I get struck by lightning tomorrow, make sure when you guys do the next show, say it was all God's plan. That's all I'm saying. Go ahead, D.
But oh man, yeah, no, this gentleman is spot on, man. Yep, and that interpretation goes with what the majority likes to hear and to accept. You know, it's what was the name of that movie? Denzel Washington was a blind Book of Joshua.
Yes,
Book
the
of
Book
Eli.
of Joshua,
Yes.
correct.
No, it's
And-
Book of
and
Eli,
Eli.
sorry. Very
Yeah.
good. Yep, the
Yes.
Book of Eli.
And the gentleman that wanted the book, I'll never forget that quote. He says, "I get the people to believe in this, and I will be powerful." That's the only reason why he wanted the book, because he knew how much power that book had, and that goes back to what people decide off interpretations and how people lay it out. You know, so we always talk about, oh, you're religious, you're religious. Yeah, I I don't consider myself religious. I don't go to church every day, but I definitely do attest that I do believe there's a God, and other people will say higher power. Man, this theory that two protons and neutrons fucking slammed real hard to each other, or was two positives, and boom, everything came up. I'm not buying that, man.
Which is fine, you know. And again, I keep seeing. I'm sorry, are you not done?
No, I wasn't. I wasn't.
Go ahead.
But
Sorry,
no,
go ahead.
go ahead, man. You lost me.
No.
He forgot.
Again, good, evil. There's more good in the world than there is evil. There's
Yes.
always going to be, because we wouldn't be around for 300,000 years if it wasn't that way. So
Agree.
from 300,000, we're talking about 2,000 years ago. This is like this little tiny little speck on a map this big. So again, we made it this far before then. Again, unless you believe we're only 6,000 years old, and if you do that, then I got to end this conversation because I can't go any further. But anyway, we've been around for 300,000 years. So yes, man is evil, but it's also good. And there's more good than there is evil, because if it wasn't, we wouldn't be here. So for 300,000 years, we didn't need these stories. Why do I need them now?
What do you mean? They had these stories. These stories have been there since the beginning of time.
How old
It
is
was
the
just
Bible?
different people. The Bible, the first one was written in like the 1500s.
Yeah, but I mean,
or something.
but we don't know that. The only
I just-
scriptures and
Hold on, we
everything
know
is only going back, right?
Right. We're not sitting here quoting scriptures for J. Jesus. We're not quoting scriptures.
I'm certainly not. Anyway, I couldn't quote
No.
one. If
No.
Yeah, exactly. We're not
never opened the
quoting any
Bible, so-
scriptures. The whole point, and this is something else that just bothers me as far as religious goes. Okay, again, if I die tomorrow, somebody's gonna pat my fucking wife on the back and say God had a plan for him. Yeah, the only plan God had for my wife is for her to fucking be without a husband the rest of her life. But anyways,
Well, that's an odd way to look at shit, too, dude. But
well,
anyway, whatever.
well, but that's just
That's
it,
not
though.
really even an argument. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like, I don't know, the
No,
whole.
but
it's kind of like this is an argument that's been had for over 2,000 years. I don't know
Right,
why.
right.
This is-
Well, but it's not an argument. You know what I mean?
Well,
It's
no,
just
I guess
it's
it's a
disgusting
debate,
with
you
an
know?
opinion.
No,
And
well,
you don't have to agree with our opinion. You don't have to agree with any of it. You know
Thank
what I'm
you,
saying?
Justin.
no.
That's
and,
my point.
And
Exactly.
interpretations change with time too, man.
Yes, but I
You
agree
know.
with Justin on a couple things. In today's world, is instead of allowing religion to believe how they wish, they would rather dispute how their personal religion is right. Exactly. We want to fight and tell that somebody wrong. No, it's not wrong because they have a different opinion, and that's just not in religion. We do that on a daily basis to people. We don't want to provide any
Absolutely.
facts or data to do that. That's the same as the cancel culture. Like I said 2 weeks ago, how we just redefined the process. Was preaching and talking and doing blasphemy, so he got persecuted, right? The Prophet Muhammad, the same thing in Mecca, where he was preaching something different. They persecuted him. It turned into war. He won, right? Same story over and over again through time. But Justin's right. It's just it's man who interprets it and makes it different. And if we can get that point that Justin made about living your everyday life, how you're going to live in it and understand that's your Bible, a different view and lives a different way, we'd be a lot better. Because then that promotes the positivity. We don't promote that enough. We only talk about the negative because that's all that makes us money.
Yeah,
Right.
But again, I don't think so.
Well-
Or we wouldn't be where we are as a species.
Right.
There's always been more good than there is evil. It has
Right.
to be, or else we'd all be dead. There's no, you know
Right.
what I'm
Right.
saying? You can't
Right.
have more negative than positive and be where we are today. You know what I'm
But
saying?
I think for me, the bottom line is
I do
that.
think
Go ahead, Jim.
right now, you want to talk about evil or Satan or whatever you want to talk about, that's social media. That's Instagram. That's Twitter. That's all of these things
Right.
that put people in these lights that we look at and go, oh my God, look at all these things these people have, when really they want to hang themselves the next day because they're so depressed and they're trying to chase this. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's those false, you want to call false prophets, all of these things that the Bible talks about, all of those things. I know a little bit about some crap, but not a lot. But
Yeah,
anyway,
because I was going to just tell you that right now.
yeah.
But
all
that
right,
goes
well,
back to
But for
that kind
me,
of goes back into the 7 sins, gluttony and all this. Because if you take the 7 sins, that
but
are in
all
the
of
Bible,
the things that
there's
you
an
guys are
exact
talking
virtue
about
opposite.
that are in the Bible are my moral compass, and I don't have to believe all of the other things that come with it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
You were taught
but I
that
believe
by another
I
person.
believe your religion is inside you. One of our viewers had basically said something to that effect. Look, for me, it's whatever. How can I explain? Let's see. So, in other words, it's to the point where if I run into somebody who had someone who passed away or whatever, a car accident, whatever, and their religion is what it is, and at that moment, I would comfort that person in the sense to where, if that's what your mind tells you, and that's how you relate to coping, and that's how it make you, you go through life, trying to understand your life and things like to that effect. I know I'm stumbling here. So in other words, it's like, I would probably be that one and say, and if I knew that the person was religious, I would be like, God has a plan. God has a reason that he did for what he did. And if that person's a religious person, that draws comfort to them. So, and I'm not sitting there and saying, well, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Don't worry about it. You'll get over it in a couple of fucking months. You know what I mean? If any of that makes sense to anybody, it's just the way that I feel about it, the way it goes with me. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, stick around for more of The Rabbit Hole on its new time and new day on Tuesdays. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen, in exactly 4 minutes. Stick around for more of The Rabbit Hole. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Rabbit Hole on its new night, Tuesday nights. Okay, with yours truly, Blazeman, Mr. D, Mr. Donnie, and our new member to the Rabbit Hole is my buddy Jimmy Toolbag, whatever whatever he likes, all that stuff like that. Just made my point or whatever. Yeah. So listen, we're moving on from religion. Some people get a little bit off of track when it comes to talking religion. Number one, nobody on this panel was quoting any scripture. Number two, all opinions on this show are just that, an opinion from each and one of us. And look, I think we get a lot more shit to talk about and to worry about than if someone's going to be at the pearly gates and say whether you're in or not. For instance, I mean, I've never seen so much talk of the use of nuclear weapons than I have in the past month. So we're gonna go with D to elaborate on that, and then we'll be moving. We'll be talking about this shit. Yeah.
And that's all I got to say. They're going to hit the big button. Ba-boom.
You really think so, Demas? You really
No,
think he's
they're
gonna
not.
hit nuclear stuff? No. Let's be realistic about this.
But I don't understand why you would come out with that
Damage that
statement. But go ahead,
No.
Donnie.
Oh, go ahead.
It's just a threat. It's a threat. It's a threat to try to manipulate a point and get something that Putin wants or something or whatever the hell he's
There was also a threat in the missile Cuban crisis, man. And these fuckers went that far off from pushing a button.
right.
No,
But it was a
get
threat.
and that,
Demas.
Donnie. But Putin's back is against the wall. Listen before you make your statement. His back is behind the wall. His military is hollowed out. His days are numbered. He is going to go through a violent death, man, Mr. Putin.
Just to even reason back, what happens when you back a cat
No.
into a wall? Just saying.
No.
It's a simple
No,
question. What happens
we-
when you back
we
a
don't-
cat into a wall?
We don't know. Tell us.
You don't know? Well, I know. I experienced a few times, and it's a
fight.
fact. It's going to attack. It's going to
Yeah.
fight.
Yeah.
It's going to fight.
People. That's people just the same, Blade. They do the same thing. That is just
Yeah, but Donnie,
natural
yeah, don't you think that's a little fucked up
thing
to
that-
sit there and throw that word around? That's a tough word to
What-
throw
what word?
around.
What word? What word?
Nuclear.
Nuclear.
Yeah, I know it's a tough word to throw around, and yeah, it makes it. I'm sorry, but we got to at some point, as a nation, and as a society, as people, decision. I've made my decision when it comes to Putin. I don't care who takes him out. He's got to go. Life that way, and it's not about militaries or whatever. It's about being at that point that you want to go nuke because the damage is done. Look at Chernobyl. You still can't even live there. There's still radiation. How much stuff died in that little time? And then you start throwing that around over there because of ability. What's that wipe out, and what does that do to humanity? That could kill us right there. Think about it. Because all the wind and everything, all that in aftermath, it'll hit the U.S. It'll hit this side of it, be it water, be it air, something.
Oh, if if the missiles don't penetrate our air defense, they will definitely hit locations like New York, Boston. Let's go down the street, Baltimore, Washington D.C. Yeah.
Yeah.
I it's an ugly word. You're right, Blaze. But I'm very concerned with Mr. Putin because he has his back against the wall, man.
Right.
And he's losing. He's losing.
Right. Listen,
I
this,
don't- I
you know,
think every-
you get to the point where it's like, I'm not saying a dude's going to shoot off a fucking IBM. You know what I'm saying? But there is a such thing as tactical nuclear bombs. You know what I mean? That could take out about, 200 acres or whatever of land. You know, there is a such thing as that.
Yeah, they're
You don't just go around throwing around this word.
no.
You know what I
And
mean? And that's a
and-
scary part.
And there's many levels of what he can throw out, and I believe they're all measured in kilotons
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
in the destruction they can pull out. And the one the one we dropped in Hiroshima is like one of their little ones now in a
That's
conventional package.
exactly like a tactical nuke. Exactly.
You know, it's
I mean, but listen,
Hey, let me-
everybody is getting involved in this. I mean, look, you got North Korea, they're fucking acting up now. How many missiles have they shot over Japan?
he
You know what I
wants
mean?
he wants to talk to the US, man. That's how he sends his smoke signals, man.
True.
Hey,
True.
how many didn't we test nuclear bombs?
Yeah,
Yes.
we tested over 1,000 of them, if not
Okay,
more.
where's all that radiation? How far away was that? And where
That's
did we
deep in
test
the
it?
desert. And
Wait,
wait a
yeah.
minute. Wait, listen.
No.
Don't correct me or anything, but I believe above ground it was like a small amount, and the rest was all tested underneath ground.
Where? Location.
Well, the Mojave
The first
Desert,
one?
shit like
No.
that.
No, it was Socorro, New Mexico.
Okay,
That's
yeah,
where the
right.
first-
Okay, close to the
first one.
Mojave Desert, right? So New
No,
Mexico,
it's
you're
not.
right, D.
So we dropped 1,000 nuclear bombs,
But,
and
no.
we're worried
Okay.
about Putin dropping one in Russia or Ukraine.
Well, we're
Let's-
talking about the ones that not potentially, we're talking about the ones that are going to destroy life. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm not that maybe I came off with that wrong. I mean, I don't think Putin's going to be launching them onto us. I think honestly, I think he'll do it.
If he
And
launches a nuke,
Because
we're involved.
every
instantly.
step of the way, everybody was like, "Nah, he's not going to do that." He did it. Like
Right.
even the whole thing in general, that we're like, "Nah, he's not going to invade Ukraine." He's like, "I'm doing it." He did
Right.
it. And,
Right.
and now,
what did
I
we
mean,
talk
do you
about?
think he's just going to be like, "All right, pack it up, boys, let's go home"? I don't think so. I think he's going to.
And what did we talk about on this show, Jim? Because I believe you was a part of the show back then. We said that Putin was like, "Oh, I just want to take this. This is all I want. I want this area here." And we
Yeah,
were
he's
like,
gonna keep
and we were
going
like, if
until-
right, and we were like, if we allowed him to just take that, he's going to go for more, and that's what
Yeah.
he's doing.
And I
He
think
doesn't have a choice because his military is shit. I mean, the Ukrainians are fucking kicking
what
his
has he got
ass.
to lose?
The
Again,
Ukrainians are kicking his ass. Of
we're
course, with
talking
help.
about a moral compass. He doesn't have one.
No,
So what does he care?
thus why I'm fucked
does he
up
care?
about him throwing the word nuclear around.
Why are you
Yeah,
so
you know what I
amazed
mean?
after? Why are you so amazed that he keeps throwing that around, Blaze? I mean, that's his terminology.
Bro,
That's what he
because
does. He
because
doesn't
and-
care. So why do you
dude.
think that he's gonna stop? He's not. And that's
But
my
I'm
point
not
about,
saying
at
that
some
he's going to
point,
stop. The only time he's going to
gotta
stop
go
is
and
when
take
he
it.
actually pushes a button, bro. That's when he's going to stop. Listen,
But
the
my
only
point
time, the point I'm trying to make by it, Donnie, you just give me 1 second and you got the floor, brother. Okay? The reason why I keep bringing it up is because, as many times as I remember the word nuclear being thrown around was during the Cuban Missile Crisis. Okay? After that, there was there's a war going on. There's a war going on between Ukraine and Russia, and I'm sorry to say we are involved with it. With other NATO countries are involved with it by sending Ukraine weapons. Okay, when there's an actual war where people literally getting killed and dying, and now you're throwing around the word nuclear, that's fucked up, dude. I don't care any other way that you put it. It's fucked up. Okay, even if he
Okay,
uses a tactical nuclear, it's over. It's fucking over. It's over. Go ahead, Donnie.
You keep
what do
acting
you
all
mean it's
surprised
over?
and disgusted. And what do you? Yeah, it's over for. We
For
got
him.
really
Everybody.
think about it. No, but think about it. Think of the ripple effects and the secondary, third, fourth effect. Where does he hit?
Well, I guess that's what I was kind of That's what I was alluding to.
That's
Is
what
if
I'm saying.
we've already tested 1,000 nuclear weapons in nuclear bombs, there's been a ton of explosions that have been nuclear, and I mean, don't get me wrong, the U.S. is pretty fucked up, but like I don't think if he launches one at Ukraine, other than the fallout of the actual war that's going to ensue, like the radiation is the least of our problems, in my opinion. At least sitting here.
Right, the radiation
Yeah.
is. It's,
Yes,
it's
sir.
what's going to happen afterward.
Yeah.
Because does he take out the wheat crop?
Yeah,
20% of the world's wheat comes from that. Just we're not going to see that for half a century.
Well,
mean, come on.
I hope we're gonna. Well, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Survival
It goes back to
kit.
what you're
Yeah,
saying.
you better
Goes
be
back to
America
what-
first at that point.
Right, but it goes back to
No,
what Demon
the
said.
point.
Go ahead, Demon. Sorry.
No, and shit, you want to start a phenomenon? To survive a nuclear tape, you need water. We all know that, but duct tape and plastic. Duct tape and plastic. Start a trend. Have them wipe out duct tape. I'm serious, man. I'm
Yeah, that's
serious.
what they told us with anthrax too, right?
Yeah.
Right. That's what you told me with anthrax. What you're trying to tell me about COVID now. All kinds of other stupid shit. But
Now,
at some point, we got to make a
No, and-
decision as a world. The NATO, when are you going to go in and finish this? Because if we still let it go on, if we sit back and just keep supplying them arms, this will be no different than Iraq and Afghanistan. We'll be there for 20 years. Do we
I
really
know
want
he's
to be
losing
like
them
that
pretty
for 20
bad.
years?
Look, he's got the draft going. His people are fleeing his country because they don't want to be forced to go into the military.
yeah, that's all.
Number
loose.
two, he's already lost between 50 and 60,000 soldiers in Ukraine. This is Ukraine. It's Ukraine. We're talking about the Russian army that's supposed to be almighty, all powerful, and he's still battling with fucking Ukraine. You mean to tell me this guy can't get 500,000 fucking troops together and tanks and everything and do a blitzkrieg like fucking Germany did, and just push right into this country and just take it over?
No,
You know what's
he can't.
No. Okay.
No.
you know what's crazy?
Well, obviously not.
I saw something yesterday about the Blitzkrieg and what the Germans did. They drugged their soldiers, man.
Yeah,
I
they
never
did.
knew that. Yeah, we're
They were giving
prepping-
them LSD and shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't doubt that Putin does that, but no, Putin can't just go and run over a country because what Jim was talking about earlier, moral compasses that are taught, values and stuff that are taught to us by our, mothers, fathers, society, each other. Guess what? Half the people that are Russian soldiers that are going in there, that's their cousin or that's their in-law that they're fighting, and they're like, no, this is stupid. I ain't doing it, and they're dropping their weapons and they're walking away. That's why Putin ain't gonna last long. But how long do you want to keep feeding this? Because you're gonna have those diehards that have the extremism, or the same people we call jihadists that are extreme. There's some of those in Russia that are willing to die, and they'll keep this war going. So when do you make it end?
Well,
Hey, there was some of us on this panel that said this was only going to last a few months.
Hey, do I just, when I want to talk to, I just continue going on and step over people, or do
Yeah.
I? wait for a
Yeah,
pause?
that's
Yeah,
what.
just-
Yeah, that's
yep.
what you do. Yeah, that's what you do.
Fuck,
Yeah, with the program.
Yep. Well, shit, Donnie, just to add on your point too, McCarthy, the minority leader, he's already counting his chickens. If this red wave happens, which I think this country needs, is that he's talking about reducing fundage to Ukraine. He's made that publicly known. If they get a change of the House, that shit's going to come to a screeching halt.
That's good. I like that.
And where would that put us?
I don't know. I don't know.
Further
But you know,
away.
I'm looking at you and I'm thinking of Joe Biden, Blaze.
Yeah.
And you
Why?
remember
Because he's
this?
old and decrepit.
No.
No,
leave
this
the
is
middle.
this is my Bernie Sanders look. Get it fucking right. Go ahead, D. I'm listening.
Remember we made a mockery of the Strategic Petroleum Reserve? I led that little fucking piece we did
Yes, sir.
about counting. That SPR was for if this nation goes to war. That's what its intentions was, not to lower the gas 20, 30 cents for the United States,
Oops.
because he sees an election coming up and he needs to bring the prices down. That I find fucking criminal. criminal. And experts now are saying the SPRs are so low that we are low on the SPR. And you remember I made that joke, Donnie and Blaze. I says, yeah, Joe Biden's counting all these millions of barrels of oil, and I'm like, well, that ain't gonna leave us with much. Look what has happened. Look
Exactly.
what has happened.
Right,
And it's
he's
just
hitting that right now. Yes.
and you know, and him with Saudi Arabia too, man. That's dirty as shit. They cut him off because they were smart enough to know that right when they cut him off, prices were gonna go up, and that would fucking ruin his chances in the midterm elections. You know, but why did he do that? Again, to have that good look. Another look Biden did recently here locally with the El Paso mayor. He told him not to declare a state of emergency because that would draw attention. This El Paso mayor is a Democrat, and he has driven more people out of this city. But Mayor Davis and Beetlejuice, that girl in
Yep.
like Beetlejuice.
Yep. Lightfoot. Yep.
Yep. Abbott has only sent them like 3,100. El Paso sent them 11,000.
Right.
But they won't talk shit to him because he's a Democrat. It's just something to think about. And I started off on the SPR and I just started rolling with Biden because I wanted to get that out of the head. You know how I lose stuff.
Yeah.
You know, listen. You know, go ahead, Jim.
I didn't really. I said everybody goes on a tangent. I thought we used to have a little hand that we would
Yeah.
put
Yeah,
up.
no, this is different software. Just you know,
I
we're
like
all
the hand.
respectful. You know, it's just D when he has a thought. You know,
Oh, yeah.
go ahead.
You gotta barge in. You know, you try to set a professional appearance
Yeah.
of the show. You know.
Go ahead,
Sometimes
Jim.
you just got to get in there, man. I don't have anything to add to what he was saying.
Donnie.
No, Oscar Lisa. Yeah, I read the same article. Miss Escobar too. If you know anything about El Paso, she was in corruption rumors, and I don't know if they ever went to trial, but she's been in corruption rumors the whole time she's been in politics. That's just, yeah. You don't want to do it, and what kills? Yeah, you don't want to create panic, whatever. But like Mr. Patrick Jordan, saying, yeah, they're doing it so they can get more federal money. They don't want to. See, but you know they want that federal money, and he did mention that in the article. That yeah, we're going to get more money when we keep with this federal stuff, but the Democrats will sit here and they want to make a big old, I guess not punchline, but Republicans like Abbott and DeSantis that people to all these other states, but your own Democratic leadership is sending the most. You hypocrite. You want to say about how we don't need to use people as political pawns. Well, you're just doing that every now about immigration. It seems like you put it as a political pawn, and you're just looking for a vote. That's it. That's the way I see it. And that to me is like you say, Dean, somewhat criminal. I mean, where's your morals or your values or the first, second, third amendment rights to be live free and prosper? Are you really helping us get that? Are you intruding on that? That's another question. Because you're taking a lot of immigrants and you're putting them way away from family, So that's my question. Or is this really even legal anymore? Jeremy?
Yeah, I honestly, I wish. Speaking of, I don't mean to cut you off again, too. Total left turn as well, but I wish I was here for the when DeSantis started shipping immigrants up to Martha's Vineyard. Man, you guys must have had a ball with that one, no?
Oh, absolutely. You know what I mean?
I was loving that. I was like, oh my God, this is the best thing like ever. This is beautiful. It was like did you see that meme? I made a meme. It had a picture of Martha's Vineyard with a stamp on it that said same day shipping now offered. I was like, dude, this is like the best ever. I couldn't believe it. They didn't. The beautiful people didn't want them around for more than 24 hours.
Yeah, because they didn't have shovels or rakes in their hands.
Yeah. They
Exactly.
weren't mowing grass.
Exactly. They weren't there.
Decatur.
Right. They went there with an apron on to go work in the kitchen, and the rich was like, "Yeah, we got to get them off the fucking island quick."
Yeah.
And
I didn't mean to derail that conversation. It just triggered that.
That was a good one.
It's true.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I I couldn't believe when I heard it. I was like, you got to be kidding me. You really did. I was like, yeah, dude, that was
Yeah.
so great, you know?
Yeah,
But you know what's
that's it.
hilarious about that, right? Is now they want to go after the guy for fucking kidnapping.
Yeah, human trafficking.
Yeah,
and
human
shit.
trafficking. You know,
Right.
yeah,
Dude, you guys,
but, hey,
literally, they came over and you flew them into me. Like, what are you
right.
talking
I mean,
about? You did
but
it to
hey,
me.
the Democrats get away with allowing millions of them to cross over in, though. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
okay.
No, that was classy. Even with DeSantis putting, the guys from Fantasy Island, the little short guy. Hey, boss, the plane.
Yeah,
Welcome
Yeah.
to
Oh,
Fantasy
it
Island.
was good.
that
It
was
good.
that's cool. It's cool, but not funny though. You know.
Yeah. But and then there was, who was it? Tulsi, what's her name? Tulsi
Gabbard.
yes, thank you. Just bailing out on the Democrat Party. I thought that was pretty good too. It's another show I probably missed, but
Yeah, they just
Oh, we can cover that.
they
I
just
mean,
had
at some
enough
point
of
you got to
it,
look
man.
around and be like, dude, this is not okay, man. We're burning the whole country down here.
we are.
Every single aspect, like pick a metric, it's just in a tank. It's unbelievable. The economy, inflation, like everything is just unreal. If you vote for a Democrat now, I don't know. I can't believe it.
No,
I
but
can't
that's not
believe
what
it.
Ice Cream Joe Biden had to say, licking his
Well, no,
ice
he's
cream,
very. I mean,
rocky
at
road.
the same. Yeah, I mean, well,
Right.
first of all, the guy's like, he's demented to begin with. But I mean, I guess if you were on the team and you wanted, you're the coach. You
Yes,
just go,
sir.
yeah, we got this all day long. I mean, what's left if you admit you're just failing? Then you know it's going down with the. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I mean, for
But-
this guy to get up there and say that the U.S. dollar is strong, you know,
I don't understand
before we started the show, okay, and I don't know, maybe we got to invite some. I don't want to sound
Sexist.
sexist. Thanks, D. I don't want to sound sexist, but you know, if they maybe have a couple of women on the show that do the shopping for their families and all that stuff like that. Unfortunately, I do that for my families. Not unfortunately, but that's what I do. You know, well,
What are you
hey,
trying to say,
I cook for the house. But anyways, you know, I was explaining to the guys a little bit earlier, and I don't know who is paying attention to this, but I certainly am.
Yeah, I am.
And the bottom line is that there's these pizzas that pretty much we like here in the household. And a month and a half ago was $9.99 for 12 of them. $9.99 for 12. I went to go purchase the same pizzas yesterday. Okay, they're $18. That's 100% hike in the price. And that's not just everything, guys. I'm not talking about fruit and produce here. Eggs, 30%.
Hey,
It's almost $9 for a dozen of eggs.
let me ask
Milk
you a question.
that was $2.50 is now almost $5 a gallon. Go ahead, Jim.
Do
I
you-
mean,
what
let's
do you-
touch base on that, man.
I mean, yeah, that's crazy. But here's a kick in the shorts. I don't know. Are you guys down south? You guys,
Yes.
Don? All right. So
Yes.
right now, the house I moved out of, right, like going to be 2 years in November. I would use 1,300. This house was built in 1875. Drafty ass windows. I mean, I redid everything inside, but it didn't matter. It was just you couldn't heat this house good enough. It had steam heat in it, and the boiler would run and run and run. 1,300 gallons I used in a year. That was about normal. Right
That's
now,
heating oil, Donnie.
yeah, heating oil. Right now, it's $5.19 a gallon for heating oil.
Wow.
Oh, you got to
So-
give me that number. My guy quoted me $5.35. So
All
I'll
right,
go.
it
I'll go
may
with
be-
you.
Listen, I don't. Right now, I lucked out big time with this house. that I
8
have.
days ago, 8 days, bro. 8 days ago, it was $4.38.
Yeah. So
8 days
you
ago.
want to talk about crippling a middle class of people. I can't even imagine having to spend. Do the math on that. $5.20 times 1,300 gallons. That's what this dude's going to spend in the next like 5 months.
Right.
Uh,
Right. I got a
the most I
275
think I ever paid was like $2.80.
Right. I got a 275 gallon tank. I'm filling that at least twice. That's
Okay.
almost $3,000
Mhm.
for me to heat my house, my apartment, I should say. Not even my house,
Like,
my
like
apartment.
$900 a month.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's food for thought. But guys, we got people jumping in with comments, and I think we should read some comments and answer their questions. Okay, I'll call each one of you out, and we can answer a question. Okay, does that sound good?
Okay, whatever.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
sure.
Send it.
You know, Donnie, be a little bit more polite. Okay, whatever. What's that mean?
No, it's go ahead and do that. We can answer all kinds of questions, but this is we keep asking ourselves and we keep complaining about everything's so high. This is what happens when you don't help farmers and ranchers, when we don't produce our own things, when we can't even help the very people that are growing the food that we need to survive. That's
Right,
something
but
about
but
our
it's
political
that
leadership.
and gas prices, getting it to the facilities and all of that
it's
shit.
fuel-
Right.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
it's
so
oil,
how do you
man.
expect
All right.
how do you expect the person at the end of that supply chain to survive if they don't raise prices? Look at what California.
I agree. Right.
They're gonna
I
raise
agree.
this out of committee. Go,
I agree.
go.
And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back in exactly 4 minutes. Guys, hold up. And when we come back, we'll be answering some of Patrick's questions. So, Patrick, stick around. And if anybody else has any questions, it doesn't matter what platform you're on, ladies and gentlemen. If you can comment, we will see it. We'll be back, ladies and gentlemen, in exactly 4 minutes right here on the Rabbit Hole. Stick around. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the last half hour of the Rabbit Hole with yours truly, Mr. Blazeman, Mr. D, Mr. Donald, and my boy James. We got a question here from Patrick Jordan. And you guys can come back with more questions. You can ask the same questions you asked just a few minutes ago. I apologize. We lost the chat for a quick second, so it reset itself. So just hit us with a question and we'll do our best to answer it or whatever. So we're going to go with Donnie. Donnie, you read Patrick's question and we can give him an answer.
Which one? Who do you feel Trump will run with, or if at all? I think it's I don't think he'll run with DeSantis because DeSantis is going to do his own thing. He's just got that momentum, I think. I don't really see anybody running with Trump because I don't see Trump even being eligible to run simply because of all the lawsuits and everything that's going his way. I just feel in 2 more years or whatever, everybody's just going to get burned out on it. And they're like, you know what? He needs to go away. And there's people that feel that way now. This just needs to go away. We're done. I really think there's more people opening up, and you're finding more people in the middle that don't want his bullshit. They don't want Biden's bullshit, but they want something in the middle that takes care of us, the people of this nation. But I mean, that's what I think on that.
Okay, D, answer this next one.
Yes, sir. Not a chance that DeSantis runs against Trump. Laugh my ass off. He wouldn't split the votes. I really do see DeSantis going against Trump. If you notice, Trump has not said anything about this Florida hurricane recovery. And my mind just stopped there because I want to share with you guys what I witnessed, man. And I got to see a little bit in the Army, and that's why I basically got out. But the ass sucking level that these folks do, i.e., let's take Fort Myers, for example, their sheriff, their city manager, they all speak. And when they all talk, they'll start it off, Governor DeSantis is a hell of a proven leader. He's been with us. And the other one sucks his nuts. And the other one, I'm like, guys, you're a grown man. You're giving the left media bait to attack him. Just we all know he's the man in charge down there. That's a natural.
Yeah, that's automatic.
Yeah, bro, but it's just wow. And this Sheriff Carmine guy, he really blew my mind too. It's just like, get off your knees, dude. You're a grown ass man. Stand on them feet. You know? It's just, I see it and it's like, you and again, I think people like that in that position think you're middle class, middle educated people are stupid, and that they have to put that show on to pump up DeSantis. And that's all I have.
Jim?
Yeah, I honestly, I don't think Trump's going to run. I mean, I'm kind of going to side with Donnie on that one. I think it's time to move on from that. I like the the platforms and stuff that he stood for and where he was and how he went about doing things. But I think there's a better person for the job. And honestly, I'd love to see DeSantis run. And I hope that Trump would realize. I think DeSantis would beat him myself.
Yeah, I do too.
I think he's younger. He's full of piss and vinegar. And again, dude, anybody who's going to grab a plane full of migrants and ship them up this vineyard is definitely getting my vote, bro. That's all I gotta say.
Hey, Jim. So how was the work? Were you working that day when the news broke about the migrants at work?
I was, yeah. And I don't know. I get in and out of like the politics thing. I can't do it 24 hours, 7 days a week. You talk about good and evil, dude. I will snap if I stay engaged with it too long. I have to break off because I probably listen to the wrong talk shows that just gear me up too, But after a while, it just gets depressing, and I got too much other stuff going on, and it bothers me, man. It drives
Yes.
me nuts to see where this country is going. And again, just 20 years ago, the difference in what's going on in America, it makes me sick, man. It makes me sick to see where we're headed. And so I got to take it in small doses. But yeah, I heard about it after the fact, but it was, I don't know. I haven't been that like excited about something in so long. That's how I was like giddy about, like, I can't wait to hear the news. It's going to fall out from this. This is
Yes,
like the
sir.
best thing to happen in so long. Yeah, I loved it. But
Yeah, it was. We jumped on that. We jumped on that immediately, without hesitation. We jumped all over that because it's true. It's like, and everything, all the fallout that happens after that it just shows you how desperate the Democrats are. Oh, we're gonna go. He kidnapped people. He trafficked them to. If anything, and soon as these people, of course, we got it pretty quick here because Martha's Vineyard is, a boat ride, an hour drive and a boat ride away. So we got wind of that real quick, and it's like, you see these rich bastards. Oh, Muffy, look at the brown people on the lawn. You know what I mean? It's like, Charles, call the authorities. What's happening here, honey? And, they're on the island for a day and they're shipped right off, you know what I mean, to a base on Cape Cod. They weren't staying there. Maybe a couple of them came out of their houses, like the house worker or something like that, and handed a few of these people a fucking application. You know what I'm saying? But otherwise than that, they weren't staying there for nothing, for not one iota. And we jumped on that something fierce,
it's just, again, it's that level of hypocrisy when you look at it and you're just like, dude, you people constantly spout off about, all of these things. And you're like, dude, as soon as you get put to task, you're like,
yeah,
nope, get them out. Like, dude, come on.
Yeah,
if people
exactly.
Can't see this,
fucking exactly. Why can't
this?
Fucking see it? It just blows my mind.
I forgot there was one like interview. I forgot who it was. I think it was Howie Card did with somebody, and one of the who's the other governor that was also shipping people with him? I forgot his name.
Abbott.
Sorry, again, yeah, that's great. He came on and he said, listen, what people don't understand, and especially the people who are sitting in Martha's Vineyard, with their pinky up, having champagne for breakfast, is that when you put these people in certain neighborhoods, it's all well and good. Everybody wants these good intentions and whatever. But what happens to the public schools that are rated like number one in certain areas? So there's a wealthy group of people who send their school kids to these schools and all this other stuff. What ends up happening is the kids go to these schools and then they have to break off and make different classrooms for them. So they have to pour tons of resources in them, and they lose teachers, they lose positions, and then the schools end up kind of like losing rating, and then the neighborhoods end up losing rating, and people move out of them, and it like devastates an entire town of people just because you want it to be nice and let some people, you know what I'm saying? So they don't see what the fallout is, their own consequences while they sit in their ivory towers from the north looking at the south like, yeah, we're just dumping them off here. You know what I mean? So you got to taste your own medicine, and I love it,
Donnie?
It so great.
Right, but I mean, Jim's right. They got to taste their own medicine and how it feels. The border states have been struggling. I mean, Florida to California, the Gulf states, everybody, they've been struggling with this for decades, centuries, got so many people and we can't help them. We don't have the facilities to help them. We don't have the means to help them. It's not that these Republicans, right now, they're probably being political about it. I mean, they're being political about it. They're using it as a tool on both sides. But for centuries, we've been this way on immigration. We haven't been able to help everybody. And that's why I said a couple weeks ago about the U.S. government treats every class of immigrant that comes here like absolute shit. They do. We treat them like shit. We give them bare minimum. We do all this, but yet we don't want to help ourselves. Because I want to go back to what Mr. Jordan said about It's not that we can't help the farmers. Yes, we can help the farmers. But our dumbass political leaders put race, the color of your skin, as a determining factor on whether you're a farmer or a rancher and you can get some help. That's the dumbass shit we do when we kick ourselves in the foot. Just like immigration. We're bitching about, well, why don't we do a solution where we build some facilities for them on the other side of the border? There's people down here on the border in Texas right now by Brownsville doing that. They're making a solution, building shelters, building little small economy or communities on the other side. And guess what? Some of them are staying there. They're like, you know what? I got this far. I'm fine. I got a roof over my head and I can help others. I'm staying here. It's working.
Yeah, honestly, I'd rather throw, what is it, $24 billion now instead of Ukraine? Throw it down south and build them some shit.
Right.
Get them out. We're gonna spend that money anyway.
Well, hey, why not spend a little more? The U.S. to provide aid to Cuba to help in hurricane recovery efforts. Why, who else do we want to give money to besides our own people? You know what I mean? Our own country. I mean,
you got people living in tents and shitting all over the street in LA, but we're gonna give $13 billion to Ukraine. Well, seriously?
And
you've been quiet.
No, I've been a very good listener. Been a very good listener.
No, what Jim says is right. But you got to understand there's a lot of people. This is why I was saying with Mr. Jordan, I don't see Trump running. DeSantis is a junior Trump, but with better charisma and better way to talk to leaders and talk to the public. People
right,
like
he won't
Trump
shoot his fucking self in the foot as much.
The same, right? DeSantis does the same. He's got the same policies. That's why I think he could win. But like Jim was saying, the political world we live in, we just want to point fingers, and that's why the Democrats are so scared right now, because there are so many people, in the news, everything on TV, you say Democrats are worried about midterms, because there's so many people like Jim and myself and some other people that are like, we're done with this shit. You better start worrying about us first. Enough of this foreign aid shit. And they're getting louder about it. And they're asking people when they're, saying they're running for office, what are you doing about fixing the U.S. economy? Half of them don't have an answer.
Honestly, I don't know. I can't imagine that. Well, I guess I said that a couple other times and I was wrong.
Well, because you just can't imagine it. Right?
At this point, man, in the game, like, dude, you can't look around and be like, yeah, give me some more of this. Like, seriously, man, are you out of your mind? Like, the track we're heading down is just a dead end, man.
Dead end.
Yeah,
not good.
Yeah, I feel that way too, man. Yep.
Yeah. And I'm not like everybody. I know they say that in every election cycle and all these. Oh my God, if we don't change it this time, but I mean, we're getting close to that. Like, dude, if we don't change it this time, we're not going. I mean, I can't believe in America right now enough people would not see that we need a change, man. This did not work. It just didn't work. I don't care. I don't think there's ever been. I mean, like, again, what is he? He's 18 months in, something like that. Like where we were to where we are, and like, just like, overnight. Man, look around. Yeah, it's unbelievable.
But the left's going to tell you we're recovering from COVID. I just want to throw that out there.
So like
even the hypocrisy on that, dude. What did Biden say when he was running? He was like, 250,000 people died. That's you should be removed from office or whatever. It's atrocious. All the things he said, dude. He had like 800,000 people die. So I forget what it was. I'm shooting out bullshit numbers, but it was way more underneath him than it was under Trump with a vaccine. You know what I mean, dude? It's like just a hypocrisy. Like, just play the cuts, and that's what it should be. Like, any Republican ad should just play cuts of Biden before and now, and just be like, dude, you're an idiot. Is this what you want? I don't know. It can't be any more black and white. And this, I don't know.
Hey, well, that just
blows my mind.
Jim, I got a question for you. What county do you live in over there?
Worcester?
No, okay. No.
Worcester County in Massachusetts.
No, there's this young dude, Jesse Brown. He's running for Congress, and he's a Republican. And like within 10 10 to 20 seconds, man. You see this guy, the way he presents himself, and you're like, fuck, he's military. And then shit, just his jogging and the way he wants to go, man. Jesse Brown is his name. If you got a chance, look him up, man.
Write him down right now. Yeah.
Jesse Brown. Got a little fire. You know, and I've got more into politics as I've gotten older and looking more expanded in my range, not only at the county level, but at state levels. And I enjoyed seeing a man of his stature and where he came from, trying to represent himself in front of his constituents there. And I wish him the best of luck, man. And that's other folks we need as well.
Yeah. I just some of the ideas and the policies and the stuff that you're just like, dude, what are you kidding me?
Right.
You know,
This
again,
was,
you
this
guys
was,
covered. You guys went through most of the bullshit.
right,
But
but
I mean,
we're,
even just
but
like
we're
the
with you,
student
bro.
loan
We're,
forgiveness thing. You know what I mean? Like, dude, who the
Right,
fuck?
we're-
Why am I
we're,
going to pay for that, man? Like, come on.
we're letting you get your opinion out there, bro. We know it's been a while for you.
Yeah, it just
But
drives me insane.
this, ladies and gentlemen, 11 minutes ago, 12 minutes ago, 12 minutes ago.
Here's the promise I make to you and the American people. The first bill that I will send to the Congress will be to codify Roe v. Wade.
Under renewed pressure over high inflation and low approval ratings, with midterm elections fast approaching, U.S. President Joe Biden sought to rally voters around abortion rights Tuesday. He promised to sign a law to codify Roe if Democrats control the legislature next year. But that promise hinges on how Democrats do in the upcoming midterm elections, and if they can maintain control of the House and the Senate. Biden's message to voters: if you do your part, Democrats in Washington will do theirs.
We face an inflection point, one of those moments that only come around every several generations, that the decisions we make now are going to determine the future of our nation and the future of your generation for the next 30 or more years.
Biden said he would not sit by and let Republicans enact what he called extreme policies after the Supreme Court's decision nearly 4 months ago to overturn the landmark Roe v. Wade ruling, which protected a woman's right to choose.
I'm asking the American people to remember how you felt the day the extreme Dobbs decision came down.
But while Democrats aim to make abortion rights a top election issue,
You got to get out the vote. We can do this if we vote.
recent Reuters Ipsos polling shows Americans have other things on their mind, specifically inflation. Just 8% of Americans cited the end of national abortion rights as the issue that will most influence how they vote, compared with 27% who said inflation. Biden's Democrats could lose control of the House of Representatives and possibly the Senate in the November elections, and passing a bill could be difficult even if Democrats hold on to power, especially in the Senate, where chamber rules require 60 of
Look
the
at him with the
100
little girl
senators to
already.
I was just going to
Look at him
say,
with the fucking little girl already.
he's got to touch her.
You know what I
He's
mean?
got to touch
This
her.
is a sign.
You know?
Pedo. Disgusting.
But anyways,
Bastard.
look, all this is just, again, panic mode for me to try to, sway the vote in November. They don't know what they're going to do because I'm just hoping for the best, man. You know what I mean? For his next,
It's the same thing as any
16
other. Like,
months. I don't know.
I mean, you think when Belichick knows that he's going to lose, he goes into the locker room and is like, "Oh, we're fucked, everybody, we're fucked." No, he goes in and he's just like, "Yeah, here's another good bullshit fucking speech for you." That's
Right.
what he's doing.
Right. Good
You
analogy.
can't go
brother.
out and be like, "Yeah, we're fucking screwed." You can't do that.
Yeah. Good.
But I mean,
good,
come on, dude. Again, there's no way. Like, I don't know. There is a way. There's always a way. But like, I don't know. I really like. If people don't, I'm going to lose faith.
Right.
I can't. Like, dude, I don't know. We're at
Can't
such a
believe in
spot-
faith,
we're
bro,
at
if you don't
such
believe in
a
religion.
we're at such a low point right now that I can't imagine people don't want a change.
You're right.
No,
You know what I
right.
mean?
I think you're right.
Again, it's like,
Right.
yeah, great. You don't have mean tweets, but you can't afford electricity. You can't afford natural gas. You can't afford gas for your car. You can't afford to heat your house.
Can't afford your rent.
yeah, you can't afford to rent everything. You know what I
It's
mean?
crazy.
We're
Hey,
just giving,
listen.
we're getting involved in in like
Right.
spots we shouldn't
Sending
be.
money to war. Right.
Yeah,
I don't mean to cut you off, but we're at that
I'm
time.
sorry. Yeah.
No, it's all right. We're at that time, man. Look, I can understand a little bit of the excitement. It's been a while since you've been on a show, and it's still fun, right?
Yeah,
Still
no,
fun.
dude, I always enjoyed it. I just,
Right.
dude, life
It's
got a
still
hold of me,
fun.
man. I got so much stuff going on.
Nah,
man.
don't worry about it. You're
Things
here
around.
now. We figured it out, right? Okay.
Yeah, we,
So,
yeah.
go ahead. All right, we'll
I
talk
was just
about it
gonna.
after. Go ahead. No, but
Nothing,
anyways,
just,
yeah. But ladies and gentlemen, listen, thanks for tuning in to the Rabbit Hole. Our new time is, well, same time, 7 to 9, but new day on Tuesdays. Okay. So again, write it down, whatever, put it in your calendar. I thought we had a great show with people commenting in. I knew Tuesday was probably going to be a better day for the Rabbit Hole because of, Monday, Tuesday, anyways, thanks again, each and every one of you for tuning in. And guys, final thoughts. And Donnie, go, bro.
Biden's, let me say this. If he hadn't had balls, she'd be your uncle. Biden's a fool to making a promise on an if. That's just stupid. That goes back to what I said about the politics with JJ the other day. Show me a politician that wants to at least be someone honest and transparent. I'll vote for you. Until then, I ain't voting for none of you scrupulous mother. Anyways, thanks for turning in. Everybody, think positive, do positive. We can get better. I think with Jim down at a low, we need a change to go up, man.
All right, D.
You're muted, buddy.
Blaze got me muted.
Go ahead.
There you go.
My fault. Go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, you're good.
Mm-hmm.
Final thoughts, brother.
Thanks everybody. It was a good show. I definitely want to get more deeper into religion. We need to break it down. There's a lot of onions to that, and take care of each other.
I don't know.
Bye-bye.
We might start
Right,
a
right.
religious fucking war. Go ahead, Donnie, real quick.
Hey, next week, let's get into Boston University and the COVID deal.
Yes,
So
Donnie.
they made it deadlier strand. Why we keep it up? We know ain't right. I'm just saying.
Gain of function.
Right? And we're going to hit that next week. Jim, final thoughts, bro.
Oh God, I don't even have any final thoughts. My mind's spinning. I don't know.
Okay. Love your wife, love your kids, whatever.
Hopefully, we clean up this mess in the new midterms here. Move forward, not stay stuck in a rut, and I don't know. Keep the good rolling over the evil, wherever it comes from.
Touche.
Have a good night.
Touche. Again, thanks to all of you for watching. Peace and love to each and every one of you out there. If you can, be kind. If not, whatever, we're just going to keep spinning down this rabbit hole we called life if we don't fix some of these problems. Good night. We'll catch you all next Tuesday night from 7 to 9 p.m. Right here on the rabbit hole, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks, people.